Hey guys, welcome back to BackPocketGameReviews, and we're going to talk about PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds today. So I'm going to say that word that PlayStation fanboys absolutely hate, but it is a console exclusive for Xbox. So it is a part of Xbox's early access program. Obviously, that has been one thing Sony unfortunately has not really rolled out. Early access is essentially your opportunity to buy into a game at a cheaper rate because you're buying in while it still has bugs and it's not fully developed. It is not a finished product that you are getting. You're getting a product that they're still working on and still making improvements on. And a lot of people don't necessarily keep that in mind when talking about early access games. Other games you've probably heard of that have been on early access, specifically if you're on console, and PC gamers are a little more familiar with this than what console gamers are because Xbox is the only one to do it, and this is the first generation they've done it, and they didn't even do it at the very beginning of the Xbox One. But Ark Survival Evolved has been one, and We Happy Few have been one. Those are probably the two biggest notable things to come out of the early access program for Xbox, aside from PlayerUnknown's Battleground, which is still not out of the early access program. Both Ark Survival Evolved and We Happy Few, if you bought in when they were new games, you were able to get into them at a much cheaper price. PlayerUnknown is $30 right now for Battlegrounds. But that price could also go up when it becomes a finished product. So if you are interested in getting into PlayerUnknown Battleground, and only God knows how long it will be an early access game or for how long they will be working on it, but now would be your time to buy into it before it actually goes up in price. I'm not saying you have to do it this moment, but this isn't like one of those ordeals where all of a sudden it's going to get marked down drastically. It's probably actually going to go up just like Ark Survival Evolved did. Now, I will say this. A lot of people have been relatively critical about how it looks and plays on Xbox. It has had some issues with crashing. I've been booted out of several games. But the entire game crashes, I can reboot, and it typically gives you the option to rejoin the game that you were just kicked out of. Right when it loads up, it'll ask you, do you want to continue the play session you were just in? Different wording, I don't remember exactly what it says, but you can click continue. Or not. So, obviously there are going to be some bugs, seeing as it's not a finished product. It's also very new to Xbox. This has been a game that has been exclusive to PC for a while. We didn't find out about an Xbox One version coming until June of this year at E3. So right now on Xbox One, it doesn't look beautiful. It is a slightly uglier counterpart to its PC counterpart. It's uglier than the PC version. Easiest way to put this. And power actually isn't necessarily the reason, because it still looks uglier even on the Xbox One X, and it still suffers some frame rate issues. Again, it is an early access title. As it gets optimized for Xbox, they got it running on Xbox. PlayerUnknown stated he wanted to up the frame rate. He has a lot of goals for this. So it is something that is going to improve over time. I will tell you, I find the game tremendously fun to play, even despite all of these bugs. It is a $30 game. It's just like Friday the 13th. It was a indie game. It released at a cheaper price. Granted, it was a crowd-funded game, but even it released with a bunch of bugs. These are things for indie studios that are harder to polish out than AAA studios. And there are even AAA studios that still suffer issues. Call of Duty didn't have a beautiful first day of launch. They did have server issues. You can look at Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed is known to be a bug fest, no matter which generation of the game you buy. But this is the beautiful thing to early access, is these are things they will be constantly rolling out updates and working on. I will tell you, it is a very different style of game than anything you will probably typically ever play outside of Fortnite. Originally, I would have told you before playing PlayerUnknown's Battleground that it was alright what Fortnite did, and they don't, Fortnite, Battleground doesn't own all of the Battle Royale game styles, but Fortnite pretty shamelessly ripped off Battlegrounds, and you don't realize it until you play Battlegrounds. I mean, it literally 1-to-1 ripped it off. It added like 1 or 2 features, and it's in its cartoony art style. It was a pretty blatant copycat. And unfortunately for Fortnite, it didn't sell well until it went free to play. So hopefully they got some money out of that with their microtransactions and whatnot. But I will tell you, PlayerUnknown's Battleground is a lot of fun to play. You can play in squad of 2, so you can do duos, you can do solo, or you can do a squad of 4. It is always against the same number of people, so it's always against 100 people total. Obviously, if it is a squad of 2, that means that it is 50 teams playing against each other. So, the whole goal stays the same: be the last team to survive or be the last person to survive. And it doesn't matter how you do that. You get to choose. You can either do it by avoiding people until the very end, or you can be confrontational and kill everyone on your way through and heal your way and fight your way to the end. You have the capability of playing it how you want and making your own strategy for how you get to the end. But it is very hard to play doubles or anything with a random, because if you are not communicating with the other person, it can make the entire experience a lot more difficult, because you kind of got to stick together and work together. You can even use your teammate to bait someone out and flank around. There are a lot of different strategies you can have, but communication is a very valuable point to those strategies. I decided to gift this game to both of the people in my Patreon loot box tier. So 2 people received that game from me this month, and I just directly gifted it to them on the Xbox. Xbox gives you that capability. I can select anyone on my friends list and gift them a game, which is pretty cool. And I did it because everyone seems very interested in the game, just unsure or not sure if they wanted to pick it up. And it's a game that I've really been enjoying. I absolutely love playing it. I think it's a lot of fun to play. I also really like competitive games. Online competitive games are some of my favorite games, like Overwatch, Rainbow Six, Halo. Those are probably my, Gears of War, we can toss Gears in there still. And now this. I like being a competitive person online. And when you're playing solo, it is literally up to you. You're not relying on someone else. It is your strategy to get you through. So there's no going, oh man, my team did this. No. It was your choice. You either mess it up or you either make it to the end. But it is fun. It's very open world. It's great game to play. They could even potentially add more maps over time. I mean, there's so many different ways for this game to evolve. However, it's hard to want to review something when it's not in its finished state. I'm telling you that I find this game to be worth it at $30, but this is technically not a review. This is more like a PSA of me reminding you of what early access is and why people shouldn't be judging this as a finished game, because it's not. But guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a thumbs up. Also, if you're new to the channel, you can click that subscribe button. You can also ding that little bell. If you do, it'll let you know when I upload new content. Guys, thanks for watching. I'll have plenty more coming for you, so stick around.